Hello everyone, this is EP6 here, and first of all I would like to thank all of you who have watched this playthrough up to this far, and I hope you will continue to enjoy my commentary. So let's continue with the commentary of this playthrough of The Fruit of Grisaia. There's a subspecies of woman distinguished by an excessive kind of helpfulness, the burning desire to take care of other people's problems. Within a few days of entering this school, I had a rough idea that swore Amani fit this busy woman classification. Busybody, okay? But I have to admit, I wasn't expecting her to extend her meddling to me quite so quickly. Although I suppose it's inevitable that we would run into each other a lot since we live in the same dorm. It seems like she's coming up to me at every free moment and playing the big sister. So being a bit clingy and all that, I wish she would put herself in my shoes. It's not easy having to politely shoot her down every time. Okay, now that's a bit too clingy really. Not wasting any time, are you? I'm not sure how she got the idea in her head, but lately, every time a break begins, Amani's been clinging to me from behind. Oh my god. Like that, you know, she's clearly like a slut, you know what I mean? Like, oh, look, you're heavy. Remove your chest flap from my head. But that's a bit too intimidating. On the contrary, I'm something of a fan. What? Homo? No. I would prefer that. If a man hits on me, I can hit on him. With my fist. Yeah, you go. What do you want from me? If you have something to say, then spit it out already. Okay, but why do you want to play the big sister so desperately, you know? Thanks sis, but I'm the big boy now, so could you please get lost? Oh no! Oh. Stop that! I'm a dainty little thing. I'll break more easily than you think. They say a snapping turtle won't release prey from its bite, even if lightning strikes nearby. Amani is a similar beast. Once she clings to me, my only release is the sound of the bell. Okay. If this woman kept a pet cat, I'm positive it would go bald from stress within a week. Well, you're talking about pet cat. That reminds me of Makina, right? Makina was referred to as a cat, right? So why doesn't Makina get bored then? I'm not confident my own hair will be safe if I allow these assaults to continue. I think it's about time I get my message across, even if it requires taking a somewhat harsh attitude. Amani, that's about enough! Just as I begin to shout, Sakaki appears with spectacular timing. Oh, private moment. Yumiko grimaces at Amani's response. Her glare is expressive. Aye? Who are you supposed to be? Yeah, just go. Don't mind me.
急いだ方がいいわよ。またイリスさんが機材を壊す前に。
Okay.
マーキナー、待って、壊さ
she finally released it. Oh, what a noisy woman.
あれ、わざとああしてドタバタして見せているのよ。ネクラだってバレるのがそんなに怖いのかしら。
Ah, can tell. What do you mean?
言葉の通りよ。まあ、昔のスオーさんのように無駄にうじうじしているよりはマシだと思って、私は諦めることにしたわ。
So it looks like Yumiko really knows, Amani very well. Yeah. So we'll definitely be curious to know about Amani's past. Even though I've already watched the anime and I pretty much know what happened. It's really very, very tragic, but I want to know what the visual novel covers, So I think maybe the visual novel will cover more in depth on Amani's past, Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to her root and her past, more in depth of what happened back then that gave her such a traumatic experience, Yeah. You make it sound like you're familiar with her past. Have you known Amani that long?
そうね。と言っても、知り合ってまだ1年程度だけれど。
Oh yeah, because Yumiko was the first student of this academy, right? So I can say, yeah, it's quite long. So Amani wasn't always like this?
何？彼女に興味があるの？
Yeah. I just don't understand the woman. Why does she drape herself all over me like that?
私が知るわけないじゃない。彼女に直接聞いたらどう？
I did. Just the other day, having stocked up on necessities for my new dorm life at the local supermarket, I was wandering leisurely around the area in front of the station.
あれ？ゆうちゃんじゃん。何してんの？こんなとこで。
Don't call me that.
なんで？かわいいじゃん。
Spare me. I can't get any cuter than I really am. All the other girls will get jealous and start picking on me.
そういう言い回し、誰かに似てるって言われない？
Of who? Like who?
さあ、それより何？お買い物？
I guess she must be referring to, his sister. Yeah, Yuji's sister. Amani pointed at a plastic supermarket bag dangling from my hand.
ボックスティッシュに乾電池、サラダ油にマヨネーズ、あとはレトルトのカレーにデンタルフロス、それともやし。
Look, you, don't just start rifling through my bag.
カレーを買うなら南口の山陽より北口の松栄の方が安いよ。もやしも松栄さんなら1袋29円だし。
Well, you definitely make a great housewife, Yeah, know all the discounts and all that, the typical, the perfect auntie, You're as knowledgeable as always. Do you wander around comparing prices all day long?
別に毎日ってわけじゃないけど、買い物のたびにチェックはしてるかな。
They are the perfect shopper. She's got an impressive devotion to economizing. I felt definite admiration, since my master was the sort of wild woman who bought things without even looking at the price tag.
牛乳、卵、野菜を買うなら松栄さん、お魚、お肉、トイレットペーパーを買うなら山陽さんって覚えておくといいよ。
Okay, sure. Well, I'm not that caught up on the price. I appreciate the thought, but I just want a store that's convenient. It's all well and good to wander around looking for bargains, but when you consider the increased effort and consumption of time involved, getting too picky frequently turns into a loss.
まあ、男の子はそうだよね。
Yeah, even I am not the sort who likes to go shopping, so I don't really care about the price. But that's when it comes to general goods. But when it comes to electronic stuff, like things like laptop hardware, I do try to buy things that are as cheap as possible. When it comes to online shopping, I'll try to find the cheapest stuff. But not when it comes to the market and all those general goods. Yeah, those I don't really care about the prices. Yeah, that's right. I'll be going.
帰るの？
Yeah. I did finish my shopping.
じゃあ一緒に帰ろうよ。
As soon as the words left her mouth, Amani was standing by my side, firmly grasping my hand. What do you think you're doing?
何が？
What, like, why are you holding my hand, you know? Not that I mind. This, of course. Demonstration, I raised the hand that Amani had gripped, or rather captured, her fingers entwined tightly with me. Why am I? A kid who won't go home unless Mama pulls him there? I've got to admit, I don't remember acting quite that adorably, so I'm very interested in where you're coming from here. Yes? Still gripping my right hand tightly, Amani raised the forefinger of her other hand against her lip and racked her brains for an answer.
幼い弟の手を引いて家に帰る優しいお姉ちゃんプレイ？
That's pretty sudden. Oh, is that it? If it's role playing, then I guess I have to play along. Oh, okay. Did you really think I would say that? Off! I forcefully yanked my arm free, shaking off Amani's grip.
もう嫌なの？
No, I'm just not used to it. If you think that puppy dog face will make me act nicer out of guilt, you're very wrong. Don't flirt in public. That's a rule of mine.
二人きりならいいの？
Yeah, I don't mind though. Stop twisting my words. The point is, I can't think of a single reason why I should hold hands with you.
私がつなぎたいからじゃあ理由にならないの？
Nope. Because I don't know you well, you know. It's not an answer to the question why you want to hold hands.
私ね、過去の事故のトラウマで誰かと手をつないでいないと不安なのよ。
So this is the part where she starts to mention a bit about the traumatic accident. I think in the anime, this scene, yeah, I don't remember this scene in the anime at all. It's just she only comes to mention of this, yeah, in her route, basically. So, some kind of obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. What sort of accident was it?
それは秘密？
Why? Hell?
やだ、怒らないでよ、冗談なんだから。
Doesn't look like it though. As she spoke, Amani took my hand for the second time. Joking? When did the joke start? This is irritating. Take the left at least. I can't calm down when someone's got a hold of my dominant hand.
別にね、手を握ることに深い意味なんてないよ。ただ、せっかく同じクラスになったんだし、仲良くしたいなってそう思っただけ。
But that's not how you start relationship. As in, that's not how friends go about. Unless you're girl and girl, yeah, then holding hands makes sense. Or unless you're kids, like really like 5-6-year-olds, then holding hands makes sense. But not at this age, you know. Why get friendly with me?
それ理由がいる？君は子供の頃とか友達を作るのに損得や理由を考えてた？
Yeah, no. Hard to say. Didn't have any.
じゃあ逆に聞くけど、どうして私じゃダメなのかな？
I wouldn't say I don't. I just want to understand your motive.
ならいいじゃない。仲良くしましょうよ。
Certainly has to be something that triggers her, right, to want to make friends with Yuji. Yeah, certainly. You're a weird one.
うちの学校で変じゃない子って一人もいないよ、多分。
Yeah, that's true. I'm going back.
帰ろう。
Having moved to my left as I requested, Amani didn't mess around any further. On our way back, she calmly acted her age. Holding hands really did seem to be enough to satisfy her. Doubts did run through my head. Considering it's only been a day since we met, she's bizarrely friendly. But still, as she's a member of our class, full of special cases? Despite her relatively normal facade, Amane must have her own unhappy circumstances. This hand-holding may well have some meaning for her. So by the way, I'll be saving Amane for last because I have decided to want to follow the anime order, okay, which is Michiru, yeah, then Yumiko, and then I think next is Makina, and then Sachi, and then finally Amane. Yeah, so that's the order that I'm going with. Yeah.
で、彼女の過去を鑑みるにスキンシップを無下に断るのも気が引けるので、うやむやのうちに黙認していたら、最近富に目に余るほど過剰な接触をするようになってきた。
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep. We'll make a detective of you yet.
何を偉そうに。
Sakaki, what sort of accident was Amane involved in?
知らないわ。
If it's not something you can talk about, I'll leave you alone.
そうじゃなくて、本当に知らないのよ。あまり興味もないし。でも、文字通り交通事故だったという話ね。
Motor vehicle accident. A car crash?
何でも、彼女が乗っていたバスが事故を起こして、それが原因で心を病んでいるという話を聞いたことはあるけれど。
Gave rise to mental illness?
手をつなぎたがる癖があるなんて話は株にして聞いたことがないわね。
Pathological need to hold hands. Yeah. Then why was she so persistent about it?
だから知らないのよ。彼女視力が悪いようだし、それが原因じゃない。
Doesn't look like her eyesight is bad, you know. Does bad eyesight make you want to hold hands? Certainly not.
さあ、視力が未発達な赤ん坊が何でも口に入れて舌で物体の形状や温度を認識するのと同じで、何でも触ってみないと落ち着かないんじゃないかしら。
Really? But it really doesn't look like Amane is, has undeveloped eyesight or what. Unless she's wearing contact lenses, which I'm not aware of. But maybe a plausible theory. But I'm having a hard time buying it in her case. In the first place, are her eyes that terrible?
知らないわよ。興味ないって言ったでしょ。
Yeah, the only way to know is to ask her personally, right? I'm wasting my breath talking to you.
気が合うわね。私もたった今、あなたとの会話はつまらないと言おうとしていたところよ。
Oh, now we're... Guess we're done here. Or we would be if I hadn't just spotted Komine Sachi out of the corner of my eye. Hey Sachi, you have a minute?
はい、何でしょう。
Do you know anything in particular about Amane's past?
いいえ、私は詳しい話は何も。
So in other words, nobody knows the whole story?
あえて聞くような楽しい話題ではないし、自分から不幸自問ができるほどに回復している学生ならいつまでもこんなところにはいないでしょうしね。
True enough. Yeah, precisely true enough. As long as the person in question doesn't want to discuss it, I suppose I shouldn't pry any further. And in the first place, I'm a little dubious that Amane's past really has anything to do with holding my hand.
何かAmaneさんが思わず手をつなぎたくなるほどに好かれるようなことをしたのではないですか？
Yeah, actually I already know what's the cause, but saying it would be spoiler in case for those who have never watched the anime before, so I'm not gonna say anything regarding that. That's taking things in a new direction. Specifically, what do you think I did?
そうですね。例えば、Amaneさんが街でヤンキーに絡まれているところを助けたとか。
That's kind of random. No, I don't remember doing that.
雨の日に捨て猫の入った段ボールにそっと傘を置いていったところを見られたとかね。
Okay, that's kind of random. But that would be cute. What's so funny? Well, whatever. Neither rings a bell. I have no memories of us being lovers in the previous life either.
そんな記憶があったら気持ち悪いわよ。この学園に男の人が転入してくるのは珍しいですし、何かこうクラスメイトの男子とそういうデートじみたことがしてみたかっただけなのではないでしょうか。
Possible? That could be a possibility. You think so? Incidentally, Sachi, does that mean you've got interest in holding hands and going on a date with me as well?
手をつなぐこと自体は嫌ではないですし、俺と手をつなげデートをしろとそう強く命令していただければ絶対に断らないと思いますけど。
But I don't want to force you, Sachi. You must do it out of your own will. Yes? I see. Thank you for your valuable opinion. I'll follow it under not helpful in the slightest. Yeah, not helpful at all. How about you, Sakaki?
私があなたと手をつないでデート？
Yeah, what do you think? Right. Got any interest?
困ったわ。どう答えればあなたを傷つけずに済むのかしら。
Ouch. But you already hurt me just by saying that. I get the picture. Thanks so much for your compassion. So in the end, asking around didn't get me anything resembling a clear answer. From what Sakaki says, it doesn't seem like Amane wants to hold hands indiscriminately. The mysteries only deepen, and the only way to find out is really to ask her personally. But you have to really get her well to actually do that. Yeah. So I think at this point I still haven't come to the choice making decision. So I can't wait to make my very first choice, and I hope I don't make any bad choices. Although, yeah, the first time round. So although of course I can always rewind, but I want to make the right choice the first time round. Yeah. So.
大丈夫、マキナ。あそこ狭いからぶつけないようにね。
She's back.
大丈夫。
Up. What?
なんで言ってるそばからぶつけるかな、あんたは。
Oops.
私はそういう生き物なのよさ。
Just at that moment, Amani enters the classroom pulling Makina by the hand, oblivious to our gossiping. I point my thumb towards the pair and their connected hands. You said Amani doesn't have a habit of holding hands, right?
イリスさんは特別。手をつないでおかないとフラフラとどこかへ行っちゃうような子だし。
Sakaki watches Amane and Makina as she speaks. Suddenly she claps her hands together as if struck by a burst of insight.
あなた、あの子と同列に見られているのではないかしら。
Me? No, I'm not a cat. Don't lump me in with Makina, no. Say what? Wait, what? I've been put in the same category with this girl who looks about 12 and seems likely to get lost tottering after a butterfly? What a seriously unpleasant thought.
スオさんは面倒見がいいのよ。なんていうか、言葉は悪いけど、きっとダメ男が好きなんじゃないかしら。
Do I look like I'm hopeless? I don't think so, you know. I appreciate that you're probably trying to help, but that's basically an indirect way of saying you look like a hopeless man. Precisely, you know.
そう言ったつもりだけど。
Okay. Sakaki. Could you please stop rubbing salt in the wound without even realizing it? It kind of stinks.
あら、心外だわ。これでも随分と高評価しているつもりなのだけれど。
Ouch. Mind answering one last question for me?
何かしら。
Is there even a single normal person in this school?
言ったでしょ。まともならこんな学園になんていないわよ。あなたを含めてね。
Yeah, everyone is not normal here, including Yuji himself. True enough. Don't think you've got some special variety of unhappiness? Sensing the ammunition underneath Sakaki's words, I feel the stirrings of something like shame. Whether it's normal or not, this student life isn't bad in its own way, true enough. I've started to like this place enough to reach that conclusion. Okay, we're at the hallway now, 2:07 PM. A hobby is a window that gives you a fresh perspective on the world, also my sister said. But when I was a kid, struggling through my daily life was about all I could handle. I disliked and avoided change, even when it might have brought me something new. So my sister's recommendation was to at least try reading books. That sister of mine was an unbelievably voracious bookworm herself, and she began to push the ones she finished on me. I soon picked up a reading habit, although I didn't find any particular meaning in it at the time. By the way, speaking of which, now strangely speaking, I actually don't really like reading books, you know. I don't mind reading visual novels, but for some reason, I just don't like to read books. Maybe I just don't like to hold a book, you know, the physical copy of the book to read it. I just prefer reading it on the internet, you know, words on the internet rather than on the computer screen rather than on the books. The only exception is those interactive fictions. Yes, those interactive fiction hard copy books are those kinds I don't mind reading. Yeah, for some reason I also don't know why, but well, my sister is dead now, as are my parents and my master, yet I'm still reading. The sister who taught me to read books, the parents who weren't angry at me when I was reading books, and the master who praised me for reading books, buying me as many as I wanted. I'm grateful to them now, since I found some meaning in the act of reading.
Kazami-kun.
Oh, Yumiko? Hmm? Oh, what do you want to do with me? Do you want to cut me? Or do you want to... Yeah? I turn around in response to Yumiko's greeting, and find her carrying a sizable load of paperback and hardcover books. Oh, you want me to carry them? Sure. Ah, so you figure out that I like reading? Sure, why not? Sure, appreciate it, as always. Okay, that's cool. As anyone with a long-term reading habit is well aware, books pile up before you know it. And this is probably another reason why I don't really like to read books. Probably, yeah, that's probably another reason. I prefer reading it on the article, because on the article you don't... I prefer reading it on the internet, on the computer screen, because on the computer screen, in the computer, yeah, you don't get things piled up, right? But books, you do. So, yeah. That said, it's hard to just throw them away, and selling them to a used bookstore feels disrespectful to the author. The idea is to find another avid reader to dump them on. Incidentally, before I came, Sakaki had apparently been pushing the books she finished onto the library. By now she's established her own private shelf in there, full of pleasure reads. Most likely she spotted me by coincidence, as she was carrying her books there, and figured she could save herself the walk. Hey B-Right, here. I slide my hands under the books Sakaki is carrying. Don't worry, I can handle all those books. Watch it. Don't take your hands off yet. The books are going to fall. You don't have to be embarrassed about that, Yumiko. Of course it is. Don't worry, my hygienic standards are higher than you might expect. A bit oblivious there, Yuji. You complain too much. Alright, I've got a hold on them. You can let go. That's so? Anyway, I'll gratefully read the books. When I finish one, I'll return it to the Sakaki collection. So if you want to reread any of them, they'll be in the library. Okay. Yeah. I take a quick look at the titles of the books I'm holding. Sohei Akai, The Decisive Pudding Batter. Kumabata Takeru, Yesterday's Black Cat. Hirao Atsuko, The Exit of the Desert. Pretty interesting titles there. But what's the decisive pudding battle? What the heck is that? A battle between puddings? Seino Takumi, Professor Takeda's dinner, Eaten Crow, an insolent woman. Shinonome Kazuma, you blew it, Omori! Although she reads quite a variety of genres and authors, it seems that Sakaki fundamentally likes whodunits. Of the 6 books she passed me, 4 are mysteries. Come to think of it, I could easily see Sakaki sitting at a detective's desk, using her brains for a living, and I bet she could become a great detective in the future. Job potential. Flipping open one of the books, I speak towards the shadow of a nearby pillar. Makina, how long do you plan on hiding there? Why is she hiding there? I'm not mad or anything. How about you come out? Oh, I think this music is Makina's theme, right? It's like in most visual novels, usually you have every girl has her own unique theme, right? So this theme is, yeah, this song music playing now, this theme is Makina's theme. She's quite pleasant. I like it. Your aura is too crude. I can sense you even when you're hidden. I just said that for the hell of it. Just to be cool. You were casting a shadow on the floor. I could tell it was you from the height and that shaggy head. Yep. Pretty much. Why were you hiding in the first place? You sure about that? You don't get along with Sakaki? How will you know if you don't speak to her, you know? On the other hand, I'm pretty sure Sakaki said something like, I think Irisu-san avoids me on purpose, see? Yeah, you have to don't be scared, just talk to her, you know. You're in a state of mutual wariness. Well, I suppose that does happen sometimes. Sakaki, a guarded person who doesn't reveal her thoughts easily, and Makina, who feels most secure when she's burrowed her way into someone's heart. Their personal comfort zones may be incompatible. Yeah, it did. Well, it's foolish to expect everyone to get along. A long time ago, I knew a guy who hated black people with a passion, and nothing anyone said could get him to change his mind. Sakaki Yumiko and Irisu Makina, there's no need to forcibly push them together, but in their case, maybe a mutual compromise is called for. I don't think Sakaki dislikes you, Makina, so try not to hate her yourself. I guess that kind of makes sense because Yumiko is like the, the mysterious type, and then Makina is like the childish type, so yeah, a bit, incompatible in terms of their personalities. I see. Cranky? Okay. Well, it's not like we're particularly close, but we have a common interest in books, so I guess that helped get things started. Of course, I get the idea Sakaki mostly views me as little more than a convenient book disposer. Yeah, just at that point. After all, it's hard to say you're friendly with someone who scowls so bluntly just because your hands touch. I don't think it's a scowl though. She was actually more like she was embarrassed, It just didn't catch it, Yuji. Makina, do you have any hobbies?
そうね。強いて言えば散歩ぐらい。
Walking. Fair enough. Solo.
大抵一人で。
That's not good.
なんでさ、一人遊びってなんかちょっとエッチっぽくな
What?
くない？
What? Dude? What? Dude? No. Also, no.
あれ？
At the company I work at, solitary hobbies are fundamentally discouraged. They place a lot of stress on keeping up some form of communication with others. Yeah, that's definitely true actually. When it comes to the interests of the employees, the basics are alcohol, women and gambling. But it's a bit difficult to own up to that in front of the boss. Well, I said that's true, right, with regard to the fact that solitary hobbies will keep you isolated. But actually that's what I'm doing right now, right? I'm playing visual novels. I'm now playing a visual novel, and playing a visual novel is a hobby of mine, but it's a solitary hobby. So that means I'm not communicating with other people. Oops. I'm a lonely guy. Anyway. Therefore, when asked, some of them just came up with a safe sounding, conventional hobby like shogi or go. When the superiors reacted favorably to those answers, the end result was that the hobbies column in the employee survey data recorded an overwhelming number of shogi buffs. Shogi buffs? What's that? I know what shogi is. It's actually a board game, right? The chess. But what's shogi buffs? Although going with the flow is pretty much the defining Japanese characteristic, it's still something of a pathetic story. Well, having given them a nice safe hobby like reading myself, too much. Nothing, just talking to myself. Incidentally, once you're the one giving the surveys out, in other words, an executive type, the hobby of choice would be gardening, not something you can do when you're living out of a barracks.
趣味ってそんなに大事？
Yeah, it's important. Otherwise, you will seem like you will feel bored if you don't have a hobby, and you'll feel kind of like, you know, lonely and like a loner like that. You know, if you don't have a hobby or something like that. Yeah, it's better to have some interest than not, even if they're really worthless. For example, the aforementioned employees and their wine, women, and song. Actually, I don't. You know, wine, woman, and song. I don't know if you actually can call that hobby, to be specific. But anyway, even then, if they can help you find a single common interest with someone, your hobbies are worthwhile as social lubricant, even if they're worthless in every other respect. Yeah, true enough, they do help in, you know, building social relationships. Yeah, otherwise they're useless. This is something I heard secondhand from a senior employee at my job, but sometimes you get cases like this. This is a story about a man who took a business trip to Gifu Prefecture. It was a group expedition with the purpose of field testing new equipment that had just been deployed throughout his company. At the time, the man in question was a new employee, not even out of his training period. Nonetheless, he found himself taking a long bumpy ride into the mountains on a company bus, accompanied by the chief of his special department. The man didn't have the first clue why he had been selected for the trip, let alone what he had been expected to do on it. To make matters worse, he was sitting next to a powerful superior in value. I guess this man is Yuji again, so it's another recollection of his past. Yeah, but now I see there's been a trend. It's like Yuji's been telling stories of his past to Makina. Yeah. In short, the man was about ready to vomit from sheer terror and anxiety. He fought desperately to keep calm, but his face was as pale as a sheet. The bus finally reached its destination, at the foot of Mount Kinka in Gifu after many unpleasant hours. But the man's relief was temporary, as his boss informed him they will be attending a large banquet in a high-class inn that night. So that will definitely cheer him up. Corporate banquets are basically a cruel kind of talent show. New employees were expected to perform some skill for the amusement of the gathered VIPs. Okay. The newbies from each department mounted to stage one after the other. Quite a few croaked out popular karaoke ballets with stiff faces, but there were also some pretty competent juggling acts. Even one stand-up comedy duo which got some laughs doing imitations of superiors. The man watched the other acts with a fluttering heart. His turn was approaching fast, but he was basically a walking, breathing lump of artistic incompetence. An asocial type without a single talent worth performing in front of others. Just as he was wondering where he could escape by pretending a sudden illness, the man was practically kicked out onto the stage by the senior employees. For lack of a better thought, he started to sing. But the man didn't know any popular songs. Worse, he couldn't remember any of the standard folk songs or children's music that might have worked in a pinch. The man went instead with the theme song from a superhero TV show, Lightspeed General Makarov, which he had loved as a kid. By this point, he couldn't help but feel a growing sense of despair. This was of course the man's first time singing in public, and didn't have much of a voice. Within moments, he was shouting jeers from the audience. He's a bad singer. Okay. The hell are you saying? What's with you? Hey asshole, you just making that up on the spot? Huh? That's enough! Get off the stage, you suck! Although he wasn't the type to break down in tears, the man felt a deep urge to dig himself a hole and crawl into it. Only sheer stubbornness carried him through to the last humiliating note. When it was over, the man quickly bowed from the stage and raced back to his seat. On that walk back from the stage, the man had a thought. I wish I had learned a song or two.
つまりカラオケが趣味だったらいらん恥をかかずに済んだってお話
I've been singing karaoke. Well, if you look at it, the ad way you're right. But the story isn't over yet. It's not over yet. With the equipment test wrapped up, the man had returned to his new assignment at a branch office in Shizuoka. Someone called out to him as he was dealing with the transfer paperwork. So you were the newbie who sang Daimakarov at the banquet in Gifu? The man's breath caught in his throat. He had figured out by now that the main job of his superiors was to flaunt their authority by picking at the smallest mistakes, and then rubbing his nose in them. And the manager speaking to him was infamous for his zealous leadership of his underlings. Frankly, the man was about ready to piss his pants. He swallowed and chewed his lip. Bitter thoughts running through his head. What's he going to blame on me? How long will I have to grovel? But the manager's words took him by surprise. I loved that show when I was a kid. And blinked, Pounded by this unexpected development. You from Hiroshima, kid? According to the manager, Daimakarov reruns were played relentlessly every weekday afternoon on the local station. Practically every child in Hiroshima grew up watching the show. The man wasn't a Hiroshima native. In the area he lived in as a child, the children's encore theatre program would broadcast old episodes of the show every summer. He had just happened to see a few. I might want to check out this Daimakarov because I have no idea. Is it an anime or something? Probably. Even so, the manager must have been really pleased to find a fellow Daimakarov fan, as he began to pull a few strings to the man's benefit. One night after work, the man returned to his bed in the company dorm to find that a white plastic bag had been tucked underneath the sheets on his neatly made bed. He didn't remember putting it there himself, and when he asked around, nobody else had any idea where it had come from. The bag contained a huge jelly roll and a cup of instant ramen from the manager himself. As a new employee, the men had to eat dinner at a set time of 5 PM. By 10 PM, lights out time at the dorm, all of the trainees would be starving. Okay, so yeah, I think this one, since we're talking about lights out and all that, that means this is a military camera. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I think this man is UG, so yeah. This supplemental meal was therefore a very considerate present. The man had an idea who was responsible. Most likely, his Makarov buddy at the top was the only one who could put it off. On top of the early dinner time, learning the ropes as a trainee is particularly tiring. His Makarov buddy had probably figured he had a hard time getting his young body to fall asleep on an empty stomach. The man actually didn't have a particularly big appetite and wasn't the type to be troubled by irregular meals. But then again, as a new employee, he didn't have much money he could spend freely on snacks and such. A little sugar was extremely welcome. If I get caught, they'll get punished too. So the man split the smuggled food with the other trainees in his room, and they all devoured their shares greedily. As the presents from his Makarov buddy, at the time they were known as the Makarov supply drop, continued, that talentless, quiet, and hobbyless triple threat contender for the A-social crown suddenly found himself getting along with the group in the dorm, all thanks to the Makarov connection. And 3 months later, when the man's training period came to an end, it was once again his Makarov buddy whose recommendation got him assigned to the Chiba branch office he had hoped for. Now I would definitely love to know more about Yuji's past, you see. So which is why I think I definitely can't wait to play the last installment of the Grisaia series, the Grisaia no Rakuen, Eden of Grisaia. Yeah, where Yuji's past is definitely covered in detail. But that's why I hope to get this and the Labyrinth of Grisaia done before the Eden of Grisaia comes out. Yeah. In other words, when it comes to hobbies and interests, anything is fine. Finding friends you can talk about some common interests with is a really valuable thing. Sometimes, something that small can be the trigger for huge life. That's the moral of the story. Thanks, Yuji, for the story. It was inspiring. Yeah, I definitely agree with you right there. Macaron, okay. I thought this was a pretty meaningful story. I guess it didn't quite get across. Well, actually, I didn't really quite get it. It was a bit dry, to be honest, the story. But anyway. Yeah, pretty much along that lines. Well, more or less. When you're young, you should mess around with all sorts of things. Just try to find something that grabs you, even if it's stupid crap. Yeah, actually when you're young, just do anything, just try out anything, Even you want to bungee jump or jump off the helicopter with a parachute, yeah, just do it, don't think, just do it, Be adventurous. Yeah. Don't regret. After all that spacing out, that's a pretty sharp question. I glanced down towards the pile of borrowed books I'm holding in my hands. I suppose right now I don't have anything other than reading that qualifies. Jelly roll? You aren't really listening to a word I say, are you? Well, not to say that you need to. Oh, so only food comes to mind when you listen to that story? Go get Amani to make something. Ah, I'm invited to Amani's room. Alright, I'll do just that. Yeah, if I'm in the mood.
じゃあまた後でね。
Alright, see ya, Makina. I see. I learned my own lesson from this conversation. If there's a mention of food in the middle of the story, Makina will remember another word. Yeah. I'll have to be more careful next time. Okay, so we're back at Yuji's room. During my middle school days in America, I got a number of strange nicknames from my classmates. Mainly because none of them could be bothered to remember a Japanese name. Yeah, that's true. On the predictable side, there was Jap and Shorty. My family name Kazami got abbreviated to Kazak as well. However, among my numerous nicknames, the only one that stuck through basic training was Ga. Short short for garbage eater. Okay. It's not that I had a reputation for dumpster diving. It was a reference to my tolerance for shitty food. As to how I earned it, the story is very simple. The KP made us slop unfit for pigs, and I ate it without grimacing. Freeze-dried scrambled eggs, pork and beans made from scraps of ham, baked with peanut butter, and ridiculously stringy mystery meat were the staples. Every one of them had a weird chemical aftertaste, and they were all disgusting. Rumor had it that the secret sauce was gasoline. I wouldn't want to taste gasoline. As for the chocolate cake we got for dessert, it was more commonly and accurately described as a desert. Yeah, speaking of chocolate cake, you know, shit, I know in my country it's like there's the joke, right, where shit can be considered chocolate cake too, you know. Okay, but let's not go further into that. That cake was legendary for being inedible. No matter how stuffed you would end up stuck in your throat as a dry lump. But I ate it, and all the rest without complaining. Probably because I was living rough from a young age. I've never been what you call a picky eater. Yeah, makes sense. To put it simply, as long as my belly was full and my body was getting what it needed, the taste wasn't a concern. Actually, I would say I'm kind of similar in that respect. But I'm still particular about a few food. Cause I mean, like, for example, those exotic food like cockroaches, dog meat, yeah, those I certainly wouldn't eat, you know. Yeah, so, but other than that, you know, generally any kind of food I would eat. Yeah. So even those 3 torturous meals a day didn't inspire any serious complaints from me. But the people around me must have thought I was some sort of freak. And after a while, my nickname became Garbage Eater, and eventually just Ga. Hey Ga, just how shitty cook was your mom? I had a sad response to this one. My mom didn't cook much. She was too busy screwing your dad's face out. What the heck? Yeah. As far as my jokes go, I thought it was kind of witty, but that line didn't get that many laughs. I guess my delivery was a bit too stony. Well then, what should I do for dinner? Go to Amani's room? I don't particularly feel a desire to eat, but if you don't take meals at 3 regular times a day, it throws off your body's clock and leaves you more susceptible to fatigue. Yeah, kind of true actually. To tell the truth, I view meals as nothing more than an element of maintaining my physical condition. As long as I'm getting sufficient nourishment, I'm not that caught up on when or what I eat. When I spend any effort considering things like that, all I end up thinking about is how much of a pain in the ass it's going to be to make something. And eventually, the act of eating itself starts to feel like a nuisance. My normal pattern is to just throw something together from my supply of canned and dried food, which is unhealthy, you know. And speak of the devil, Amani is here. Well, this is my room. Amani barges in like she owns the place, no longer even bothering to knock. But I'm really getting used to it, I guess. Probably because I've experienced a lot of emergency summons, it didn't get to me that much in the first place.
7時になったら私の部屋にご飯食べにおいでって言ったでしょ。夕食の用意してマキナと待ってたのになんで来ないかな。
As she speaks, I notice that Amani is holding a plate piled with crab legs in her hands. Oh, crab legs. Oh, how savory. You're making me hungry now.
実家からカニが届いたから食べにおいでって言ったじゃんさ。
I do recall such an event. I also recall responding if I'm in the mood. Not that I would definitely be there. Yes, but I said that you and Makina should go ahead and eat if I didn't show up on time.
なに？あんたもカニ嫌いなの？
Not really.
殻を剥いて食べるのがめんどくさいでしょ。マキナも同じこと言うのよね。剥いてあげれば食べるくせにさ。
Actually, that's kind of true in my case too. Actually, while I do like crabs, I don't like to peel off the shell, you know.
剥いてあげれば剥いてあげたであの子。これぞザッツカニパンでしょとか言いながらパンに挟んで食べるのよ。
Only after cracking open, yes.
基本的に物の価値が分かっていないっていうか、挙句には言うにこと書いてかまぼこの方がうめえなって失礼しちゃうわよ。
Probably just means that Makina places more importance on how easy it is to eat. Honestly, I think I would go for crab paste over crab myself.
なーによ、張り合いのない子たちね。世の中には食べたくても食べられない子がたくさんいるのよ。
Oh, I'm sure Yuji is well aware of that, no? That's certainly true.
分かったのなら文句を言わず食べなさい。殻剥いてあげるから。
Are you gonna feed me? Look, I wasn't really complaining, and I can take care of the shell on my own.
っていうか、私が来なかったら何を食べるつもりだったの？
Yeah, canned food and all that.
ご飯は炊いてあるんだ。でもこれいつ炊いたの？なんかカチカチ。
Ah, hey, hands off! Amani's wandered off into my kitchen and is examining things as she pleases. After confirming the contents of my mess kit cooker, she opens the door to my refrigerator and starts taking stock of my supplies.
食べかけの缶詰の残りと魚肉ソーセージとマヨネーズにレタスとチンゲン菜。何これ？たくあんの缶詰？
Canned pickled radish. But basically it's canned food.
こんなのどこで売ってるのよ。っていうか、いつ開けたの？
Yeah, these are all the staples of military food. I opened it at lunch. Get off my back! Why is it that this feels strangely embarrassing? It's not like I have anything troublesome in the fridge. In the first place, where does she get off calling canned radish this thing? It's well known among canned food connoisseurs as almost decent and pretty much edible. Well, I don't think Amani eats canned food much, so yeah. Is this woman looking down on the brave men and women who have gained courage from canned food throughout the years? As I silently burn with righteous indignation, Amani brazenly starts running tap water in the rice cooker. Hey, what do you think you're doing?
だってこのままじゃご飯がカチカチだし、一回水で戻すのよ。
I don't care if it's hard. Probably because I'm used to eating canned stuff that comes out airy and stiff as a wax candle, I'm pretty tolerant of tough food. 卵はと、2つしかないけど使っちゃっていい？ Sure. I don't care, but what are you planning?
カニチャーハン作ってあげる。あんたはおとなしく座って待ってなさいな。
Oh, sure. Well, I suppose pretty much anyone can handle fried rice. Especially for a woman, the somewhat prejudiced assumption is that you have a basic skill like that. Fact is, out of all the women I've met so far, the only one who couldn't make edible fried rice was my master. Still, I can't quite hide a certain anxiety. Not that Amani is paying any attention, humming to herself as she cracks open the eggs. After shaking salt and pepper onto the eggs, she mixes in the lightly rinsed rice, then adds bits of crab meat, only about half of what she brought, and finely chopped radish. Heats a frying pan coated with mayonnaise rather than oil, adds the lettuce and spinach planted from my fridge, and throws in the rice mixture according to her own timing. Now you're making me so hungry. Sticking the back of her ladle into the mix, she vigorously clatters it around the frying pan, messily stir-frying the food. When Amane decides it's done, she uses the bowl as a mold to form the fried rice into a perfect hemisphere, then tosses it onto the plate. This wouldn't look outplaced in a Chinese restaurant. She said it's crab fried rice, but this kind of sounds a bit like, reminds me of omurice. Oh, garnish. Dressing the leftover crab meat with mustard and mayo, she drops it with a tart on top of the heap of fried rice on the plate. So savory. I want to eat. So she says, but it hasn't even been 10 minutes since Amani started to cook. The imposing pile of steaming fried rice on my plate looks pretty damn impressive for someone cobbled together out of leftovers, and in such a short time. She definitely is like the perfect housewife, you know, Amani. Yeah.
この部屋もっと大きいテーブルないの？なんかお皿とかも少ないし、今度来るとき持ってこようか？
Up to you. Not necessary. I've got what I need. The table is a small coffee table for one that Sachi dragged out of some storeroom as a stopgap measure. And the frying pan and what tableware I have are things I picked up carelessly at local 100 yen and hardware stores. But since I'm living alone, it's all perfectly adequate. As long as it's sufficient. No point in getting more dishes when I'm only eating off one. Just means more things to wash, you know, I'm lazy, you know.
確かに洗い物は溜め込んでないみたいだけど。
Noticing something as she speaks, Amani returns to the kitchen and starts to rustle through a plastic bag in the corner.
これはゴミ？捨てていいの？
Okay, sure. Yeah. I've been throwing my empty oolong tea bottles in that bag, and before I knew it, it had something of a pile. But I was uncertain about the timing to throw them out.
明日資源ゴミの日だから一緒に出しておいてあげる。
Thanks, Amani. You're the perfect housewife. With well-practiced movements, she peels off the labels, removes the caps, and skillfully cuts out their plastic rings with the tip of her kitchen knife. Finally, she lightly rinses the bottles themselves with tap water. Judging from the smooth motion of her hands, she's repeated this often enough to gain the mastery of an assembly line worker. Clearly, she's something of an eco-friendly woman.
じゃあ、私部屋に戻るけど、食べ終わったらちゃんとお皿は洗い桶につけておいてね。後で洗いに来るから。
You don't have to trouble yourself. I can wash it myself. I can take care of that myself. Sorry for the hassle.
いいのよ。ちゃんとこういうこともできるって見せておかないと、ただのエッチなお姉さんだと思われちゃうしね。
Okay. With a quick goodbye, Amani heads out of the room, not waiting for my impressions of the crab fried rice. I had the idea that a busybody woman like her would be more likely to hang over my shoulder pestering me for compliments, but she just popped in all of a sudden, cooked for me in a flash, and then left just as quickly. It might be the influence of dealing with that whimsical machina all the time. Probably. Itadakimasu. Unfortunately, I don't have a Chinese spoon in this room, so I'll have to make do with the standard Western variety. I jab my spoon into the mountain of steaming fried rice and quickly throw some into my mouth. Not bad at all. Even someone as disinterested in food as me can tell when something tastes good. The salt seasoning feels a bit thin, but this is probably how it should be if you're thinking about healthy sodium intake. Yeah, healthy, you know. Although it would be insulting to compare this to the crab, I must admit, it's also different from the stuff you get at a high-priced Chinese restaurant. It tastes like your standard fried rice. what's with this flavor? When I was living alone with my mother as a child, I remember eating fried rice that tasted like this. So this, the taste of home cooked fried rice reminds you of home. Yeah, that feeling, homely feeling. After finishing her day job, my mother would make me dinner before her night shift started. In the last week of the month before her paychecks came in, it would often be a pretty plain meal of fried rice. When all she could put on the table was fried rice with a bit of pink fish paste added, she would apologize as I ate. I'm sorry, this is all we've got. I like the fried rice Amani just made. There was never anything extravagant like crab thrown in, and Amane's cooking skills seem to be better as well. So why is it that they taste similar? Like, it reminds you of home, it's a home cooked meal. Yeah. Where's this slight melancholy coming from? Well, it doesn't matter as long as it's good. When I was a kid, anything I ate tasted good. That part of me hasn't changed too much. Okay, 8th of June, and yes, I think this is a good place to stop. I think there's nothing too much going on in this episode except we get to hear another backstory, another part of Yuji's past, and we also get to see Amane suddenly being very clingy to Yuji, and we get probably a glimpse of like why is she acting that way. All the mysteries starting to come out. We'll find that out soon enough when we get to her root. And and we also get to talk to Yumiko, So yeah, so we get to have some interesting conversations, and with Yumiko and Yuji sharing the same common interest of reading books and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. So I hope all of you enjoyed watching this through, and thank you so much for watching, and hope all of you continue to watch this playthrough. Stay tuned, and I hope to see all of you again in the next episode. Till then,